Midivani Monroe for MissFabulous.com. The Art Institute School of Fashion Design has teamed up with Mercedes Benz Fashion Week for the past 3 seasons to present its graduating star design students' work on the runway. For spring 2015, 13 talented designers were chosen from the graduating class to present their collections in New York, a dream come true for every designer and a great start to their careers in design. We went backstage before the show to find out more about these young designers and how their design vision will shape the future of fashion. Cecil Dove at the Art Institute New York campus. For this collection, what was your inspiration?
Well, my inspiration for this collection was basically the frustration and the sheer will to get everything done to get out of school. So all that fight that I had to get out of school, that inspiration and everything, that all is crammed into this collection that I entitled Bedlam.
And how did that affect colors and fabrics?
Well, with the color story, because I titled it Bedlam, I didn't want to go with the typical white. I actually went with a little more of a darker color story. So I have like champagnes and olives and blacks, and just that to give that mood as if you were trying to wallow around and trying to let loose, So that's what I portrayed in my color story.
And the fabrics?
Fabrication, I have some cottons and silks. It's very sophisticated, sensual, and just grown. I think it's just really grown.
Michael Tornado, also at the Art Institute New York. For your collection, what was the inspiration?
The inspiration was Soviet modernism. It was a time period back in Russia where the money was very low, finances were low, and so it was all about what people needed versus what people wanted. So with my collection, I tried to strip everything down to what everything needs, what the man of today needs versus what they want.
And how did that affect colors and fabrics in the collection?
I kept the colors pretty basic, men's suiting colors, khaki, white, gray, hints of black.
Okay. And the fabrics?
Fabrics, light wool suiting, cottons, canvas, cotton shirting. That's about it.
We are with designers Flavia Nunez and Charles Anthony. They work together as a team at the Art Institute for this collection. Can you tell us what this collection is about?
All right, so our inspiration is the Trinity. We actually have incorporated in a conceptual way, in a literal way, the Trinity symbol into our collection. The triangle, it's in every single garment that we have done, and we have chosen 3 different kinds of colors and also fabrication. So we're trying to do the Trinity into every single aspect of our collection.
So you talked about the Trinity colors. What are those colors?
We have a white, everything is predominantly white. We have like a mint, fresh green, cool gray, also silver, a little tan, and maybe another shade of white as well.
And can you tell us what the fabrics are in this collection?
Mostly cotton blends, a little polyester, silk as well. Now, you know what? These clothes, just like you buy a toy, it's like, what does it do? These clothes do something.
Okay.
You could change, you could flip. We use magnets for closures. You can turn reversible dress, vest type thing.
Jose Medina, Art Institute, New York. What is your collection about?
I was inspired by the medieval soldiers, just because I think women are very powerful, and I was fascinated by the history of the medieval soldiers. So I decided to create a collection that shows the power, but also put some sassiness to it. So I'm very excited. There's going to be a lot of silver, but also some colors that are very feminine, just to create a balance. So I think it would be pretty good in the runway.
And what fabrics were important to you?
All of my fabrics, they were very difficult to work with because I have organza, I have some silk, I have knit to it. So all of the fabrics were very hard, but you guys are going to see in the runway a fabric that it really identified what I was inspired by. So it's very clear the message that I was trying to do in the runway.
We're speaking with Nerissa Shorter before her collection for the Art Institute. You are with the New York campus?
Yes.
So you're a homegirl.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about what your inspiration was for your collection.
My inspiration is basically Asian oriented. It's based off of the Korean bridge in South Korea, and it has a lot of structural shapes, pops of color, and textures as well. So I decided to incorporate it into my collection as a youthful piece. A youthful piece. I want like the woman who wears my garments to feel young and happy.
And you mentioned colors. What are the important colors in the group?
Basically, it's in a rainbow. The bridge has a moonlight rainbow. It's a moonlight rainbow bridge. So I use pretty much all of the colors of the rainbow for each piece in my collection.
We are with Levon, and I don't want to butcher your name, so can you pronounce the last name for me?
Scheide,
And you are originally from?
Republic of Georgia.
And did that affect your work at all in this collection?
I guess the sense that I'm rebellious because I'm from Republic of Georgia, because it's very religious, so I never really fit in with that religious environment, so I guess you could say that.
And what is the collection about?
I was inspired by Scotland, and I was very into kilts. I was obsessed with kilts, so every look has some sort of kilt-inspired detail to it.
And important colors?
I love blues, grays, and more like melancholy colors, so you could say that my collection is very melancholy with shades of blue.
Well, can't wait to see an interesting collection from an American Georgian designer.
Thank you very much.
We are with Kibonin Fee, who is from Cameroon, and she is at the Art Institute New York campus. For your collection, what was the inspiration?
My inspiration for this collection was really my hometown, Bamenda in Cameroon, where you have the royalty and the rural people, lots of color, and you realize that what the royalty wear is very similar to what the rural people wear, but you just change fabrics, you change textiles. So I was trying to show the beauty and the color of especially the rural women fashion and the royal garments and how it's being used every day. And my biggest goal is to be able to get that inspiration, put it on the garments, and get anybody to be able to consume them in the comfort of their living rooms.
And you mentioned color being very important. What are those colors?
In my collection, you have a lot of fuchsia, blue, orange, purple, neon green. It's like so much color on it, but it makes me happy, so I love color.
Johanna Gursi from the Art Institute, ready to see your collection on the runway?
Yes.
What was the inspiration for your collection?
My inspiration was flamingos, pink flamingos.
Pink flamingos, so we're going to see a lot of pink, yes?
We're gonna see really like a pink flamingo, orange flamingo, and coral flamingos.
And how did that influence the shapes of this collection?
Oh my God, I love birds and I love colors, and I was looking really for a bird that inspired me, and I get across with that beautiful bird, with that color so neat and colorful, so beautiful, and I fall in love.
Well, it sounds like it's going to be an actual beautiful color explosion on the runway. Can't wait to see it.
Yes, it is.
We're with Joshua Aponte, originally from Puerto Rico. Being from Puerto Rico, did that influence your work?
Well, it always does. I think that no matter what my inspiration is, there's always a color, flair, flamboyancy to it, and I think that's a bit of our Latin culture and our Latin flavor in it.
So, speaking of this particular collection, what was the inspiration?
Well, actually, I ran into a picture by a painter called Charnay Lilia. She's a Russian painter. At first, I thought it was a picture. It's so amazing. It's a crocodile.
Okay.
Immediately thought of the crocodile of the Nile and the Nile River. So from that point on, Guardians of the Nile just took off. It's all based in ancient Egypt, crocodiles, everything about the Nile River and the inhabitants around it.
So tell us about the colors that were influenced by that.
Like I said, taking into consideration that painting, when I started zooming in, that's when I saw there was a painting. And inside the scales of the crocodile, I saw the most beautiful turquoise colors, corals, navy blues, some grays, and I wanted to take all of those. And when I started separating all of those, each and all of those colors represented something for me. Like the navy was reminded me of the midnight sky in the Sahara Desert. All the coral and the turquoise reminded me of the jewels that the royals would use. All of the cream colors would remind me of the bandages that the mummies would wear. So there's a lot of influence from Egyptian culture.
Angelo Rosa, who is at the Art Institute New York campus. You're graduating. You have a beautiful collection from what I've seen so far. Can you tell us a little bit about what drove you to go into design?
It's always been one of my passions. I studied fashion merchandising, and I realized that design was where I really wanted to be, and I just moved to New York and pursued my passion, and now I'm here graduating and showing my first collection for Mercedes Benz Fashion Week, which is amazing.
You're originally from Providence, Rhode Island.
Yes.
How are you liking New York?
I love New York. New York is such a fast-paced city. You can enjoy it. The food is amazing. And the atmosphere, being able to just walk down the street and see people express themselves through their clothing is amazing. It's a completely different atmosphere from Rhode Island, which is a very small town.
Now getting to the important part, the actual garments.
Okay.
What was your inspiration for this grouping?
So my collection's inspired by 1990s punk and grunge fashion, but more with a modern twist. past, so I tried to clean it up, and I get the punk and grunge fashion with my details, my fabrication. So I'm using a lot of leather, and I have a lot of soft and hard fabrics. I like to mix both. It's a very nice ready-to-wear collection that has leather, jersey net, and cotton denim.
And colors.
Colors, primary colors. So my color story is red, royal blue, yellow, charcoal gray, and black.
Tori Thompson before his collection at the Art Institute show at Mercedes Benz Fashion Week. Can you tell us a little bit about what your collection is about?
It's about taking a different approach to menswear. I want to come at it with a fresh, new, modern look, but also I'm trying to progress menswear in a sense. I don't want to take it too far to where it's not wearable, but I also want to surprise the clients when they have their clothes.
Well, I, as you can see, love my menswear, so I'm going to be looking forward to this. What are the important elements in this collection?
I try to pay attention to the details. In this collection, I did a lot of pleating. I tried to incorporate that into the collection throughout some of the pieces and some of the pants and some of the fabrications. I try to keep the fabrications functional. That's a big point for me, functionality, and I want that to show as well as just looking good.
Nasim Shadmani.
Hi.
At the Art Institute New York also? Originally from Iran?
Yes.
Did that influence your collection at all?
Yes, actually I use one of my favorite poets whose name is Rumi from my jewelry. So I use his poem from my design my jewelry and accessories.
And the collection itself, what was the inspiration?
I try to keep the theme of my culture from my country in my collection, but I try to keep it like more modern. So yeah.
And were the fabrics and colors affected by that?
Actually, the form of the garment, the way that they flow, they drape is, I just, inspired from my country. I used to, put the design, I keep the theme in my mind, and I just try to create something new.